Hello there, Susan Etcher here with the Leaders World, brought to you by Leaders World Institute. Today is special. Why is it special? Because we are going to be delving into the inspiring story and experiences of a remarkable leader. So be prepared to gain invaluable wisdom and be motivated, challenged, and highly inspired today. Who do we have in the studio with us? We have with us the amazing Mrs. 𝗃𝐃𝐿𝐵, who is a highly experienced educator and social champion with over 40 years of experience in planning, developing, disseminating, monitoring, and improving academic and financial education programs. She has set up social mobility groups which have empowered several thousand women locally and internationally. She is a Chevening Scholar, Knight and Officer of the Cameroon Order of Valor, a Millennium Development Ambassador, a Victoria Merits Award for Gender Action awardee, a Certificate of Meritorious Service, International Students Association of University of Nigeria Nsukka awardee, just to name a few, because I know you want to meet her, right? I know you want to meet her. She is a motivational speaker with mentoring and counseling experience. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me welcome in the studio, Madame 𝗃𝐃𝐿𝐵. You're welcome, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Oh, yes, 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 yes. We have been so excited the entire week, just waiting to meet with you and to just be blessed with your wisdom and the insights that only someone like you can bring to us. So thank you so much for being here. Let's just tell us a little bit about you and your leadership journey.
Uh, I was born 71 plus years ago
Wow.
in the village of 𝗵𝗏𝐵 in Manyu Division. And I grew up there with my father and my mother. My father was his primary school teacher in Basel Mission School in Tenesa, which many people do not know. Many people younger than me will not know. But it was a school that was about 4 miles away from the village. So we had to do a lot of walking every morning to go to school. My mother couldn't read and write, but my father could. Of course, he was a teacher. And right now, there are 13 of us in the polygamous family. We've lost some over the years. But suffice it to say, my father had a vision and sent every one of us to school, irrespective of whether we were boy or girl. And that is why I have been on this journey. I have a 90-year-old sister called Sister Edika, who in her generation is the only
Hi, Auntie 𝗃𝐃𝐿𝐵. If you watch this, hello.
in her generation, she is the only one who can read and write. Because at the time, it was generally accepted that only boys could go to school and the girls would stay at home and do domestic chores. But my journey started a long time ago, unconsciously, because I was doing things without actually putting them in perspective as a leader or whatever. I didn't give myself any names or titles. I was just doing things that, I wanted to do. And I came to realize over the years that what I was doing was impacting people, impacting especially women. And so I just continued on the journey. And when I say impacting women and impacting the community, you will agree with me that in a community in which I grew up, which was very patriarchal, it was not generally always accepted, especially by the men. They thought, okay, you're a bit too much. You're breathing down our necks and all of that. But you just mentioned a few minutes ago that I'm a Chevening scholar, which scholarship I got from the British government in 2020. And when you talk of leadership, I think the one thing that a leader must have vision, something you're looking forward to, irrespective of what challenges there are, and irrespective of what people will say to deter you. And so I just continued on the journey, and here I am.
If I should ask you, would you say you were born with a golden spoon in your mouth?
No, 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 no. I wasn't born with a golden spoon in my mouth. In fact, I don't know whether a child who grew up in the village would be, looked at as somebody who grew up with a golden spoon in their mouth. I grew up in Bisongaban. I think I was just, by God's grace, an intelligent and smart person, because in 1964, when I wrote the first school leaving certificate, the then principal of 𝗧𝗵𝐶𝐂𝐃𝐃𝐄𝐈𝐏 Baptist College came all the way to Bisongaban to do interviews for children who they were going to admit into 𝗧𝗵𝐵 Baptist College. And a few of us, in fact, I remember clearly Jane 𝗃𝐵𝐵𝐿 and Pauline Echu, who now lives in Abidjan. Unfortunately, we lost Jane. 3 of us passed the common entrance that year, and we also passed the interview into 𝗧𝗵𝐵 Baptist College. And that is how my academic journey ensued. I graduated from 𝗧𝗵𝐵 Baptist College in 1969. And again, I had to do a common entrance examination to enter 𝗏𝐶𝐵 because at the time, 𝗏𝐶𝐵 was the only post-secondary school in English-speaking Cameroon. So you had to be among the best to be admitted into the school. And by his grace, I was one of those that was admitted. And then I graduated from there and went over to 𝗃𝐄𝐻𝐿 for some time. I couldn't cope because of language and other things.
But you're somebody that has been known to be someone who lives with a positive can-do attitude. Can you tell us a little bit more about the positive can-do attitude and why it might be very important for us to have that attitude in life, the positive can-do attitude that you're known for?
The positive can-do attitude is one, inborn, and two, cultivated.
Okay.
You have to cultivate the attitude that I am going in to do this and I am going to do it and put in the best that I can to do it. And I think that is what has sustained me through life. The fact that when I set my mind to doing something, I go all out to do it. And I do it to the best of my ability. So in mobilizing people, I am at the forefront and I expect the following to come. There are lots of leaders in groups that give directives, but they themselves do not follow the directives. If you're going to be a leader, when you say we are at this place at 4 o'clock, you should be there 5 minutes to 4, so that
Yes,
whoever comes behind you sees that you are already sitting there, ready to take on what you have planned to do. A
Yes,
lot of
ma'am.
people want the title of leader, but they do not act as leader.
Mm, Now, on your journey as a leader, you should have faced some challenges. What are some challenges that you faced as a leader? Guys, the title of today's show is Leadership: The Journey of 1,000 Miles. And today we have somebody that is remarkable in the sphere of leadership. We know her. She is Madame Eyere Tako, and today she is here to share with us just wisdom that only someone like her can share with us. All right. So we are just asking her questions. And if you have any questions, please put it in the comments, and she's definitely going to see them and she will answer those questions for you. All right. And please go ahead and share this. You don't want your friends to miss this. Share it with your family, share it with your friends. All right. Tell us about some times that you faced challenges and how were you able to persevere and just be resilient in your journey, because somebody with your experience should have had some challenges too. How did you
Personally,
overcome them?
I overcame challenges by just being insistent.
Ooh.
Yes, insistent on what I thought was right and doing what I thought was right. Like I said, our community, the community in which I grew up as a child, as a young adult, even as an adult, is very patriarchal.
Mm,
It's looked upon as a man's word,
mm,
and there are things you do as a leader, especially when you're leading women, that come up against what men think should be going on. You know, one thing that I remember specifically was trying to educate women to be self sufficient. And when you talk to women and say, don't always depend upon your husband or your father or your brother for basic things like sanitary towels, for basic things like rubbing oil, for basic things like, a pair of earrings, so to speak. And when somebody gives you something or offers you something, you become their stooge. You become their, I don't know, how do you say it? You become dependent on them. But when you are able to provide for yourself, you become independent of them. And that dependency is broken. And many
yes.
people don't want to accept that kind of thing. So in a lot of ways, those are the challenges that you face because they begin to look at you as somebody who is implanting ideas into uh, individuals who are supposed to be subservient.
Mm,
And many people do not like that.
wow,
So
wow, wow.
that great challenge that I had.
Wow. Wow. Thank you so much for sharing this, because some of us are doing some of the type of things because that you have done already, and we just want to follow behind to see how you did it, so we can learn from the mistakes that you made, and learn from your experiences, and just be able to maybe do a little fraction of
Mhm.
some of the mighty and awesome things that you've been doing. And I realize that those who complain about empowering women, especially because you mentioned women, so we're talking about women, those who complain about empowering women are not usually the women themselves. So I ask myself, okay, if you're complaining about women being empowered, could it be that you have been benefiting from those women not being empowered? Could it just be by any chance that you have been benefiting from those women not being empowered, and that is why you're complaining about the
Of,
women being empowered. Because
of course,
oh yeah, because
because
empowered
because
men
because
are
they
men who are
God,
secure in
yes,
themselves, and they know that when a woman is empowered, the community is empowered,
of,
children are empowered, and we become better people. So are
mm,
you one of those that has been benefiting from women not being
mhm,
empowered? Is it possible
that
that if that woman is empowered, much better will happen to you and to everybody else?
of
Those are some of
course,
the
of
questions.
of
Yeah.
course, of
So,
course.
what are some of those community actions, ma'am, that you have taken? Community actions, definite community actions that you have taken, which have been empowering in some of the communities you've been leading at.
Quite a few. But let me cite one that is with grassroots women.
Okay.
And that was when we formed, I'm a founding member of the Limbe Women's Forum.
Okay.
And the Limbe Women's Forum came into existence the very first year. I'm not exactly sure what year that was, when we started celebrating the International Day of the Woman. And
Wow.
I was in for the next 10-15 years, I was in charge of the round table panel discussion. And then when we started this forum, when I came to live in Limbe as in Victoria, so to speak, as an adult, in the Victoria Newtown market, every woman was selling njanga, selling oranges, selling vegetable, njamba njamba, green, sweet bitter leaf, ndule, and all of that, was Nigerian.
Okay.
They were Igbo women and Efik women. And I began to talk to the women in the forum. I said, you cannot wait for your husband for palm oil to cook for him and the children. You
Yes.
cannot wait for him to buy a box of matches. There are things you can do. A lot of those women who are in the market have sent their children to school. Some of them are in school abroad. And that is by collecting the 25 francs, the 50 francs, and all of that, and putting it together. And so the women now began to hustle, go to Moya market, buy the ginger, buy the huckleberry, buy the green, come and sell. And before long, they had their Njangi houses, and they were putting their monies together and were able to do what they are doing. In fact,
Wow.
we know that some of those Njangis are what have paid school fees for girl children to go to school. Some beyond secondary school to university. I talked with a lot of girls who have graduated from Boya University who said school fees was paid singly by their mother. Some of them from single mother homes were paid from Njangi. That was, something that we began to teach. Right
Wow.
now,
Listen,
I
listen,
have
listen. If you're watching and you were one of those that were raised by a loving mother who did
mm,
everything to take
mm,
care of you, she the sweat of her brow. I want you to put in the chat, I love you, mom. Put it in the chat. I love you, mom. Let that energy go out there for your mom. All right. Thank you so much. Yes, ma'am. Keep going.
I remember as I grew up as a child in primary school, my mother grated cassava, made gari, and I sold it sometimes after school because school closed at 2:30. At 3, I would be at home, carry a basin of gari on my head to Manfi and sell to make, money for clothes, for school fees, I grew up in a polygamous home. So you couldn't depend entirely on the father, who had a lot of responsibilities depending upon how many wives he had. So it's something that women have done for ages, but we needed to streamline them, explain to them why it was important to continue in that manner.
Wow, wow, wow. Thank you so much for just pouring out your heart to us. Values, values, values. To be on this journey and to be where you are today and to be recognized globally as the leader that you are, there should be values somewhere in the picture. What are some of those values that you would that you have been experiencing in your life and have been serving you, and you'd just like to share with us, listening to you now, and those who will come and listen to this broadcast just because Madam Iyere was on the show? What are some of those values that you might want to share with us?
The values, values that you have are a lot of satisfaction that you have been able to impact people. You have left a little mark, because we are how many billion people on earth? More than close to 8 billion now.
Mhm.
And you're living like one speck in one tiny location. But
Yes.
even in that little location, you have made an impact. And so the gratification of people, you know, telling you have done well
Mm,
is is something that I consider a value that I have had
mhm.
over the years.
Right, right. Because every human being wants to know that, in the end, we all want to know that our lives mattered for something, right?
Mhm.
We all want to know that our lives actually mattered for something. So my question to you, our viewer right now, is what do you live for? What do you actually live for? Why are you here on earth? Is it just to breathe? Just to breathe and sleep?
No,
Why are
no.
you here? Go ahead, ma'am. Share with us.
I think I am here to help make the world a better place.
Yes.
And especially because of my Christian conviction,
Okay.
I am here for a purpose.
Mm,
And God certainly put me here for a purpose. And that purpose, I think, is to help out so that others, especially those who are less privileged than me, can live a better life. And
wow.
and I think that's my purpose. And I think that uh, up until now, I have fulfilled a bit of that purpose.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have in the studio Madam Iyere, and we are talking leadership journey of 1,000 miles. And we will be right back. Please share this broadcast with your friends and family, and let us know how we are doing. Let us know what you're getting from this. If you have any questions, please put them in the comments, and we will be right back.
For your corporate and personal needs.
Leaders World Institute, changing lives, one leader at a time. All right, here we are, and we have with us Madame Iyere B1, and she is a remarkable leader. Today we are talking leadership journey of 1,000 miles, and we are just drinking from her life. Okay, what aspirations did you have as a young person growing up, ma'am? What aspirations did you have? And did those aspirations change over time? What visions did you have about life? And did that change over time? How has this been for you?
Of course, as a young person, I don't really remember that I had any aspirations, so to speak. It was like, okay, one day at a time. You wake up in the morning, it's school, you go to school, you try to read up your work, pass exams, and all of that.
Mhm.
And then, as a career, I always wanted to be a doctor, but it didn't work out. So I I went when I got my first degree in microbiology. I was actually interviewed to work in the laboratory in QS by
Okay.
Professor 𝗓𝐿. But I met this dashing young man, and he said, "Marry me." And I said, "Okay." And so I ended up not picking up the job, which should have been in Yaoundé or at 𝗃macy Dorai in Douala. I ended up staying back in Victoria. And at that time, there was really nowhere else to work. So I picked up a job teaching biology in 𝗃𝐿𝐵 Baptist College. And I was there for 16, 18 months. I'm not exactly sure now. But the financial remunerations were so poor that I said to myself, I'm not going to stay in this place for this any longer. So I dashed to Yaoundé, put in my application for a civil service job, and I got recruited and deployed to uh, Government Secondary School Victoria as a biology and chemistry teacher. And that
Okay.
is where I was all the time. But while I was there, the aspirations to do something, you know, they didn't come in a rush. It was just, okay, let me put women together and let's start this thing. And so I started 𝗃𝐿𝐵, which was a small Jangi group. Then I started Edel Social Group. Then I started ex-students of 𝗃𝐿𝐵 Baptist College. And then, everything just came
And then you became chief of the Bistongaban community.
here in Limbe.
And that was first of its kind because no woman had no woman had occupied that position of chief of any of the Bistongaban communities,
No,
right?
no, not that I know of,
Wow.
because leadership in our culture is a man's thing,
Mm, mm,
in
mm.
the
You know,
Manyu culture thing.
if you're
So
watching,
I
friends,
remember I remember
yeah,
when
yeah.
when I was made chief of the Bisongaban family group in Limbe.
Mm, yes.
The challenges I had were from the men and women together said, "Te tok tembe." That is from time immemorial. A woman has never been family head. And I told
Mm,
them, I didn't ask for this thing. I was appointed. And so if you want to take it away, go ahead. But I have been there more than 15 years. I keep saying, make your elections and have somebody else sit here. And it's like, Mommy, just sit down there and do what you are doing.
So, which means that even the people who were saying, both men and women who were saying, no, I mean, from time immemorial, a woman has never done this. One of the reasons why people do not want change is just because they are not used to change. And
Yes,
people
yes,
resist change
yes.
just because it's change. So
People
sometimes when we are resisted, it's not because we are doing anything wrong, it's because people are not used to having it that way. And
yes.
ma'am, let me just speak to the audience a little bit. Listen, Madam 𝗃𝐃𝐃𝐃 just told us that she had a dream to become a medical doctor, but hey, today we know her as a veteran of over 40 years in the academic space. So listen, if you don't have clear cut ideas for what you exactly want to do, do not count yourself out.
Mhm.
Make
Don't
up your mind to be a person of value and keep adding value to
allow
yourself. And as
Mhm.
you keep adding value to yourself, like her, start asking yourself, how can I begin to be of value to other people? And guess what? Before you know it, 40 years after now, we'll come to this show. Maybe, I don't know if it's going to be me as host, maybe somebody else, and we'll be talking about your life, right, ma'am? Am I right?
Yes, yes.
Well, this is so beautiful, and we have many friends who are watching, and they are excited. Hi, my chemistry from three teacher, Madam Mrs. 𝗃𝐃𝐃𝐃𝐃. Hello, Auntie. I mean, they are just excited, and the chat is just blowing up with them. The chat is blowing up with them. They are excited to have you on the show, and we are so blessed to have you. What are some of the most valuable lessons that you would say you have learned on this journey of leadership?
The most valuable lesson I have learned in this journey is that don't expect everybody to go along with what you are doing.
Ooh.
Or somebody out there who says, "Oh, she's showing off, she's doing that." So, as long as you have this vision, as long as you are convinced that what you are doing, and as long as there are people who appreciate what you're doing,
Mm,
don't expect 100% appreciation. There will be, there will always be some who think that you're not good enough, you're
mm.
showing off. You, there are people who call me Madam No. Oh yes, because they, they, I don't know how to explain it, but you find that there are there are people who are just there to bring you down.
Mm,
There are people
mm,
who are just there to bring you down. So as a leader,
mm.
you don't listen to what your detractors are saying.
Oh wow.
As long
Wow.
as
Somebody
long
somebody put it in the comments. Do not listen to detractors. Put it in the comments, somebody. That is key. Yes.
because there will always be detractors.
Mm.
In the leadership journey, you will always have detractors. Don't listen to those. They will always be a small fraction of the whole, because there will be many, many others who are yearning to hear and follow what you are saying to them.
Wow. Wow. So instead of listening to the detractors who may not be your audience, because we are all called to serve a tribe. We are all called to serve a tribe. So instead of listening to those and not serving your tribe, you want to listen to your tribe and keep doing what you're doing and do it the best
Best
you
that
know
you
how
can.
to do it, because
Mhm.
that way you keep adding value to people.
Yes,
Did I hear you well?
yes, yes, yes.
Wow, wow, wow. Do not listen to your detractors. Keep pushing.
Don't
Keep going.
when I said don't listen to your detractors,
Hmm.
I mean don't let them influence you.
Okay, okay.
Because again, when they criticize and you sit back and think about their criticism, it may help you improve on what you are doing. But
Okay.
but don't let them pull you down. Don't let them drive you off course. Don't let them
Mm,
influence what you are doing.
mm.
Negative.
Ask yourself, is this usable feedback?
Yes.
Is this usable feedback? What can I do with this feedback?
Mhm.
And
Yes.
and and I realize that the people who want to see you succeed, sometimes they also give you feedback that may not
Really.
sound like what you want to hear,
Mm-hmm.
but it's feedback which you can use.
It's,
Did you have
it,
such people in your life who would give you feedback that you take at heart, even if it's not something that you actually wanted to hear?
certainly, certainly. There are always people, especially very close friends and family, will tell you you are on the right track, but this is the way I think you should be going.
Okay.
And you know, in your moments of reflection, in your me time, you sit back and you sieve through the information, through the advice, through the whatever was given
Mhm.
to you, and you chart a way forward.
Wow, wow. Okay, listen, guys. I don't know what you're hearing, but there is so much treasure in here. Do you have a me time? For every leader that wants to soar, you must have me time. The time you sit down, just you, yourself, and yourself to
Mm-hmm.
reflect on your life. And this has to be every day. In my journey, I'm incorporating this every day. You know, in the morning, you have that me time. In the night before you sleep, you have that me time to reflect on how the day went, what you did well, what you could have done better. And do you just have that me time? Is that something that you need to incorporate on your journey? It's very, very powerful. Somebody
It
put
is
in the
important.
comments me time. Go ahead, put it me time.
Yes, it is important to have me time.
Wow, wow.
Otherwise, you just go and go and go, and you don't want to meet a brick wall. So
Mm,
you reflect and re-strategize.
mm. This is so beautiful. My mentor, John Maxwell, says that when you pause, that is when growth happens. So learn to pause so you can grow. Is that all righty? We hear you. We hear you. It's okay. You want us to see you. That's fine. Is that a granny?
Yes.
Okay, okay. Hi.
Hi. Say hi. Say hi.
Oh my goodness. Okay, can we have okay, again. Yeah. All right, good. Oh my goodness. That's so precious. So what advice would you give to your younger self, ma'am? What advice would you give to your younger self? You have come this far. Leadership journey of 1,000 miles. What advice would you want to give to, like, looking back, what advice would you want to give to your younger self? Because a lot of us are looking up to you, and trust me, we are going to take that advice to heart.
Go to mommy. Uh, the advice I would give to my younger self would be, I think, things that I have practiced along this journey, and that is
Mm,
be resilient, be insist on what is right,
mhm,
um, and just be committed
mm,
and dedicated to what you are doing.
mhm,
Because what I find now is that a lot of people, especially with the advent of social media,
mhm,
people want to be out there to promote themselves, to do all kinds of things about things that they have not really put their energy into doing.
mhm,
And for me to be a good leader, to be a proper leader, if I went back another 30 years, I'll just say I will do this with more vigor, more energy, more
Mm,
resilient, and all
mm.
of that.
Wow, wow, wow. I will do this with more vigor, more resilience. And you told us to be dedicated and to be committed and to be resilient in the things that we commit ourselves to do. What is one thing that you've always wanted to do, but maybe you've not done it yet?
I'm not exactly sure that there's anything I've wanted to do which I have not done.
Mm,
Um, I think over the years I have put my finger on everything I've wanted to do. Like I said, although it didn't come to me in a rush or at a go, my
mhm.
purpose here has been to educate, to make other people be better. And I
Wow,
think I've done that in the small way that I could by
wow,
impacting, just educating, by talking to them and all of that. I think that I can't think of anything I would have wanted to do that I have not done.
mm, mm. And what are some of the biggest lessons that you have learned?
I have learned over the years that it's it's not everybody who calls you my friend who is actually your friend.
Ooh,
Mhm.
wow.
There are others who will say my friend, probably you bear your heart out to them, and then they go saying things about you to other people,
Okay.
and those, it's better that you know that somebody does not like you, so you keep away from them, than to believe that somebody is your friend and behind you they betray you.
That hurts. That hurts. That
I
hurts.
I think that those are some of the things that I have learned over the years.
Wow. But are we able to actually stop this from happening?
No, you
Like,
can't. No, you can't. But find a way of trying to figure out,
okay.
because again, somebody who does not discuss themselves with you but discusses somebody else with you is somebody who is going to discuss you with somebody else.
Oh, oh, oh. Mm-mm-mm. Oh, guys, listen. When you are with your friends, who do you talk about? Do you talk about
Exactly.
they themselves or
The
other people?
other
That's
people.
a clue right there. Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Wow. Wow.
But again, over the years, I have come to realize that when you do something with dedication,
Mm-hmm.
with commitment, and you are insistent on doing that,
Mm-hmm.
eventually people begin to realize that you believe in what you are doing.
Right, right.
And when they see the results of what you are doing, they begin to believe in you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Wow,
So
friends, listen.
let your leadership impact people in a way that will enable them to say, I have gained something from this individual.
Right, right, right. Wow. Let your leadership impact people so that they cannot doubt what they have gained from you. Because that way,
Mhm.
they will trust you more. That way, they will believe more in you. That way, they can vouch for you.
And
All right?
you have to act right as well, because if you look at my CV, it's president here, treasurer there, secretary there. All right, you find that those three positions, president, secretary, treasurer, are the three key positions in every association or every group of people. And
Right.
if people don't trust you with their money, they cannot make you treasurer. If they don't trust that you will report something fairly and trustworthily, they will not give you position of secretary. And if they do not trust that you will lead them to the right path, they will not make you president. Or they will make you president for a short time and throw you out, whatever. So if you look at my CV, and this is not a boast. I I I I pray to God that it's not a boast. I am simply stating the fact. It's because when I take on position of president, I am at the forefront. If we have to go, like I said a while ago, somewhere, okay, like I was president of 𝐶WF, 𝗃𝗵𝐿, and you know that the 𝐶WF, 𝗃𝗵𝐿, or most 𝐶WF groups or most groups in our communities are made up of a mix of people. All right. There are the very low in the in the rungs of the ladder, and those live in the rural areas. If you are the leader who chooses where to go because that person is of your caliber, then you are not a leader.
Mm.
When you are a leader of a group, everybody is treated in the same manner.
Right.
If you have to
Right.
reach out to uh, anybody in a group that you're leading, you reach out to them properly and in the same manner. You don't.
Mm.
That's what makes you a good leader.
Mm.
If you are a treasurer in a group and after a meeting they said, treasurer, you signed out 100,000 francs, and maybe 2 or 3 days later meeting has need for 50,000, and you are not able to produce 50,000 because probably you have spent some of the money or you made
Mm.
it as a loan to somebody else, there's a problem there.
There is a problem. There is a problem. Wow.
So these are all the things that make you a proper leader. The fact that you are
Mm.
accountable at
Yes.
any time. If they wake
Yes.
up in the middle of the night and say, we need this, you are able to provide that.
Wow. Wow. So from your discourse, I could hear accountability. I could hear fairness. I could hear trustworthiness. I could
Mhm.
hear respect. Friends, I don't know what you heard. Can you put one word? Please put one word in the chat that you heard. I'm giving you what I have been hearing. I have heard trustworthiness, fairness, accountability, respect. I have heard resilience. I have heard commitment. I have heard dedication. And I have also heard the leader is one who knows the way, shows the way, and goes the way.
Great.
What have you been hearing? One word in the chat, everyone. One word. Let's go. Let's go. Just one word in the chat that you've been. What is one thing that frustrates you about the present generation, if there is any, ma'am?
The present, the, the present generation, I think there are two things that frustrate me about the present generation. One, they are disrespectful.
Mm.
Two, mhm, they are indisciplined. You need a
Okay.
lot of discipline to be able to chart your way in your job. Um, I don't know. Maybe my choice of words is not exactly right when I say indisciplined, but I can give an example. You know, a lot of the times Young people
Listen,
apply
if
for,
you want to hear what
apply.
I think, I like that choice of words, and we need those words. The reason why we might think, oh, she should have used other words, it's for the same reasons that we should hear these words. It's for the same reasons.
It
Yes, ma'am.
um disrespectful in the way, in the manner in which I am using it is like, you know, there, when you talk to somebody, when you talk to
Mm-hmm.
an elderly person, when
Right.
you wake up in the morning and you are at home with your father or your mother, or maybe they will look at it as, this is, of course, this woman is born in the 50s, so she's of the old school. But I think that a lot of uh, disrespect is, you know, your choice of words when you talk to an elderly person,
Yeah.
somebody in authority,
Yes.
all of that. And then indisciplined in the way that right now, what I realize is that young people, especially at home,
Mm-hmm.
the jobs are not available. And so they apply for jobs, and you find that somebody applied for a job to be house help. Let me take the basic house help.
Mm-hmm.
And then you employ them as house help, and they come, they have all kinds of excuses about not being able to do the work. So why
Yes.
did you apply for the job? That, to me, it's a lot of indiscipline.
Mm-hmm.
To
Now we've
me,
talked about what has been frustrating you. Would you want to tell us about some things that you think are going well with the present generation
yes, yes, there's a lot that is going well with the present generation.
from your assessment and which we
From my,
respect that assessment?
mhm. There's a lot that is going on that is good with the present generation from my point of view.
Mm-hmm.
And that is, they they are training a lot for with, they are acquiring skills,
Yes.
what we did not have at the time.
Skills, right.
We depended a lot on academics, all right, going
Mm-hmm.
to school, going to grammar school, passing GCE at A level, getting a degree, and all of that. But this generation is now acquiring skills to be
Right.
a plumber, to be a bricklayer, to be a
Mm-hmm.
builder. Those are skills that, um, when I look back, I find that a lot of us, because when I was in secondary school, I we looked at the individuals who were going to 𝗃𝐶𝐂𝐿𝐵, like those who were not able to pass common entrance as well as we did. But you come to realize that those skills that they acquired from a technical school were
Yes.
what is important in life. Because if you are a director and you have a toilet that is blocked in your house and there is no plumber who can unblock it for you to use, life becomes quite difficult for you. So those
Right.
skills that we look down on are very, very important. I've always said to myself, in Manu, for instance, we still do not have people who fix shoes. We left those kind of things to foreigners who were living amongst us. I don't want to call the names of them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We don't have people who who were plumbers at the time.
Mm.
Now we are beginning to have a few. We still do not even have builders who build with finesse.
Wow.
We so we For me, I think that one thing that should go on there is a continuing education center where
Mm.
people are taught those skills so that we can have people. I have been in Manfe and had a problem with my car,
Mm.
and couldn't find a proper mechanic who could fix that car
Yeah.
because one, he needs particular tools.
Mm-hmm.
Two, he has to be able to diagnose the faults. And three, he needs the spare parts. And those
Right. Right.
things, they were simply not there.
Wow. Thank you
Maybe
so.
maybe
Yes.
different now. But
Right. Right.
but
Skills
but
acquisition,
I
and that's
this
going for the
one,
present generation.
yes.
Thank you very much, friends. What skills are you acquiring?
Mhm,
We're going to be having a show one of these days on AI and tools and stuff. What
mhm.
skills are you acquiring? Because knowledge is increasing and the world is going at a very, very
I think
fast
that's it.
pace.
Mhm.
And we just want to ensure that we remain relevant by learning the skills that we need to learn. Otherwise, it's not going to look good. So, what
But- but
skills are you acquiring? Somebody put it in the chat. Go ahead, put it in the chat. What skills are you acquiring? Listen.
and that brings me to, the award that I had to go back to school,
Yeah,
because a lot of people have questioned the fact that what what career plan does she have after acquiring this degree. So this money was spent for, and
that's
and
after about more than
and
20 years. You went back
yes,
to school and now
well,
you're a shipbuilding
in
scholar.
fact, I went back to school 43 years after I had left the classroom as a student. I was in the classroom, but I was a teacher.
Right, right.
But sitting there,
43
listening to
years
somebody talk,
after.
doing assignments, you know, passing exams and all of that, I did that 43 years prior.
Wow,
And so I
wow,
came
wow, wow. So, what
and and,
excuse do we have?
and my answer is, you don't go to school necessarily for just an academic degree. You go to school to learn a skill.
Okay.
So if you're not able to go for academics, go to acquire a skill. And acquiring skills does not end. You can acquire a skill at any age, at any time of your life. I can decide I want to go to become an electrician. In fact, because I was married to somebody who dealt with electricity, there are things I learned to do just by looking at what he was doing. And so I believe that uh,
Wow.
going to school must not necessarily be
Mm,
for academics
wow.
or to
Wow.
be an aristocrat. It is
Mhm.
acquiring a skill, and you can do that
Yes. Yes.
any time.
At any time. Listen, friends, all I could hear was possibility mindset, possibility mindset. I want you to put it in the comments. What do you want to be possible for you in the next 5 months? Put it in the comments. Let's go. What do you want to be possible for you? Listen, put it in the comments so it goes out there and then you start working on it. Put it in the comments. We are almost there, guys. We are almost there. If you have a question, please also put it in the comments, but I want you to put for me, what do you want to be working for you in the next 5 months? Put it in the comments. All right. I see computer skills, I see makeup. We're almost there. And we have been talking leadership journey of 1,000 miles. Our guest just went off, but that's fine. We are almost there. Okay, she's right back here. She's right back here with us. We are not done yet. Please don't leave us. Okay. So the technology, you see, she was able to come back because she knows how to find our way. Those are some of the things that we have to learn, the skills we have to learn to just be able to thrive in the coming ages. So computer skills, I see computer skills, I see makeup. So we are at the end of the show for today, ma'am. We are so grateful that you were able to, amidst your busy schedule, to be able to be here with us. What would be your final words to our audiences? We have people watching on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on YouTube, and after now we are going to throw this on other social media platforms and our podcast, and people will watch over the years. What do you want them to know? What do you want to tell them as your final words? Just go ahead and speak from your heart.
I've been speaking from my heart. I hope that made some sense to anybody.
Thank you so much.
What I would like to say is each one of us is a leader. Each one of us is a leader, one way or the other. At home, you're a leader because the children are looking at you. In your workplace, you're a leader because other people are watching what you are doing.
Yes.
In the community, you're a leader because there are thousands of pairs of eyes that are watching you. So whatever you set your mind to doing, go ahead and do it to the best of your ability. Be committed, be dedicated, be resilient in what you are doing.
Wow.
Like I said a while ago, there
Mhm.
will always be detractors, but take their criticisms and ponder over the criticisms and see what good you can derive from the criticism. Don't always dismiss detractors. Don't let them pull you down anyway, but don't dismiss what they say because what they say could become useful one way or the other. Then, of course, uh, have a little group, have a little in group that you can depend on, that you can say, okay, give me a fair view of what I did. What do you think I can do better? Have some trusted people that you know can give you positive descriptions of what you have been doing and how you can improve on what you have been doing. I have friends who will look me in the face and say, Eyere, in this matter, you did wrong. And I trust them. I trust
Yes.
their judgment. So you have
Yes.
that kind of group that you can also depend on.
Right.
And and I think that leadership is something that, you know, anyone can do. We can you can make up your mind to be a good leader.
Mm. Mm.
You can make up your mind to be a good leader by, you know, just being dedicated to what you do. You should have some kind of a vision. And
Wow.
I don't know whether I
Wow.
made.
That is Madam Eyere Tako, who has been with us on Leadership Journey of 1,000 Miles. She has thrown gems, she has thrown pearls. What did you get? What action do you need to take? The commitments that you've made to yourself today, are you going to keep them? Let's see you on the next episode.
For your corporate and personal needs.
Leaders World Institute, changing lives, one leader